Everybody ready? Let's warm up. Hands at our waist, turn your neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stretch your neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Expand your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Waist exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn your hips and waist. 9. Airplane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bend at your hips and waist. 9, 10. Touch toe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Be careful. Shift your weight. Kick your foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kick your butt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Heisman, opening up your span, parallel feet. Choose one side, cross and sit on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shift your weight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Short one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good. Let's practice our good golden cockerel. Okay, first dropping your shoulders, tucking your butt in, hollowing out your chest, chin slightly down, glance way ahead, head straight up. You're evenly distributed at this point. You're going to be a golden cockerel standing on its left. Therefore, the weight gets heavier on the left, up, center, counterbalance, golden cockerel. Okay, do it at your own pace, shift weight. Last set. Center, counterbalance, shift weight, center, counterbalance. Okay? Make sure now the hand that sits to the side, sits to the side, sits to the side, not sit, sits to the side, but not sits to the back. You don't want that. Okay, can we try that? Either side, two times. Sits to the side. Down, sits to the side. Now show me what is sits to the side. Show me what sits to the side. Okay, show me what sits to the back. You see what happens when you swing back? You're tightening up your shoulder and you're out of Tai Chi posture. Remember the first element was to drop your shoulder? Well, if you do it this way, your shoulders come up. So you want to make sure that it sits to the side. Once it sits to the back, you tighten up. So you throw your Tai Chi posture off. So some small elements like that we need to be aware of. All right, kicking out now. When we kick out, we remember that our span is wider. You cannot kick out and start when your feet are together. So when they're apart, you're going to shift your weight to the left, and your right hand comes up at the same time the right foot comes up, and this is called a counterbalance, whereas this is incorrect because the hands are in the same direction. Okay, let's try that. Feet apart, good Tai Chi posture. We're going to be kicking out with our right. We're at 50-50. We're going to shift our weight to the left, right hand on the outside, right foot coming up, kicking out. Left hand, left foot. Last set. Okay. Next we're going to do our T stance, L stance, bow stance without our hands, okay? Making sure that we're checking our feet alignment first. Hands at your waist, good Tai Chi posture. T stance, weight down on the right or back foot. Therefore, the knee of the right knee is flexed, okay, because it's bearing all your weight. Show me that your left foot is ready to go by lifting up, showing me that it can be weightless. We're taking a T stance. After that is an L stance out into the side. The energy generates from our back foot across our chest and waist, flattens down to a bow stance. Sit back, sit down on that imaginary stool, pivot, parallel or on the line, T stance, out into the side, L stance, turn the hips and waist, bow stance, bow and arrow, knees not beyond your toes. sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down, T stance, L stance, turn the hips and waist, generate that energy, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down, T stance, out and to the side, L stance, turn the hips and waist, move that energy, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot, T stance. Okay, so everybody needs a little bit more improvement. So point your finger up. This is you and your spine and your head. You are always in good Tai Chi posture by being straight up. When you advance forward, you move. When you advance sideways, you move. But all the time, this body or this cable or this rod or this silk silver thread is always straight up. So if that is true, what is wrong when I do this? Is that straight up? Obviously no. So what are you going to do? You're going to have to sit back up. Sit back up. So that's a good way of testing whether you are in good Tai Chi posture. And the reason why we are so adamant about this is because why? We're here to learn to fall. We're here to learn to prevent falling, okay? So you want to make sure that something basic as that, you don't want to pass it over and do something and practice it wrong, okay? All right. Now, with that feet work, we need to be clear and hold our ball. Show me how you hold your ball. Any way, any top, any bottom. So I'm looking at you and it's so far so good. The top hand is at chest level. The bottom hand is at 2 inches below your navel, which is the danten area, centering yourself. Therefore, your ball cannot reach forward, because if it does, what happens to that cable? It follows you forward. So you want to keep that straight up, but at the same time, dropping those shoulders, okay? All right, so we're holding our ball, left hand on the bottom, because our left foot is ready to go. Our right hand is at chest level. We're weighted down or rooted down on our back foot. Here we go. Out on an L, move that ball, generate that energy, part the wild horse's mane, stretch. Sit back, sit down, pivot, ball for better balance, left on the top, right on the bottom, bring it in, out and to the side, L, move that energy, watch your cable. Are you stretched too far? If so, adjust. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down, ball for better balance, bring it in, out on an L, move that ball, part the wild horse's mane, check your cable. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down, hold your ball, bring it in, out into an L, bow stance. What is your, sit back, sit down, what is your hand that sits to the side? What is it doing? Is it going to sleep? Remember I said to keep it cocked? It's helping you with balance. But it's not going to help you with balance if it's not cocked and going to sleep. Watch that back hand out and to the side, not to the back, and cock it. Sit back, sit down, one really good set now, perfect. Hold your ball firm down, out on an L, move that ball, part the wild horse's mane, make sure you have your cable, make sure you have your stretch with your side hand cocked rather than sleeping. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball on a T, out on an L, move that ball, part the wild horse's mane. Do you have your bow and arrow? Is your left hand cocked? Is your knee not beyond your toes? Okay, so that's a lot of examining and evaluating for your own. And sometimes we say, no, all the all the questions I give you, you say, it's not me, it's not me. But when I look at you, it is you, okay? So what's happening is that you are processing everything correctly in your mind, but for some reason, the physical stuff doesn't match up to what your mind is saying. All right, so let me do some things that are wrong and see if you can identify with it, okay? It's your call, okay? Maybe I should do it this way, because then you can see my backhand, okay? Real fast. These are wrong movements, and if you can tell me why they're wrong, more than likely you can correct it by yourself. For one thing, my knee is way beyond my toe, therefore my head is so heavy that I'll fall. This hand, the backhand, has gone to sleep. It forgot about what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to sit to the side, not in the back. It's supposed to stay awake by keeping its hand held here so that it's holding a ball. It can't hold the ball like this, and neither can it hold the ball on the top like this. So the imagery here is the backhand always, do it with me, holds the ball from the top to the side rather than in the back. Can you show me what I mean? To the side. Okay, and then make sure that the ball is round, so you're going to grip it. You only have one hand gripping that ball, therefore the fingers should be a little curved, right? Okay. Check themselves. Oh, so Ken's saying you all have mirrors at home. Maybe just watch yourself in a mirror. Okay, so you can see what each hand, what each foot, what your body doing. So you be your own test, okay, own tester or own investigator. All right. We also covered, and we'll go over again, 2 movements of Yang 10 form. We know it's commencing form and repulsing of the monkey, okay? Without any words, let's just refresh our memory by doing it with me, okay? And then we'll go over it. So good Tai Chi posture, dropping those shoulders, feet apart slightly. Oh, I'm going to bring it in a little bit, okay? Commencing form. Okay, so you're going to continue what you're doing. I'm just going to turn around, okay? But you keep the same side that you are doing, which is the opposite of mine. Last one. Okay. All right, now we'll put words to it and we'll try to see whether, check what our movements were really supposed to be all about. So when we commence, we know that we are evenly and you can, while I'm telling you, you can test it out on yourselves. We know we have good Tai Chi posture. We know that we can grow a little taller. However our Tai Chi posture is, you need to grow a little taller, okay? Grow a little taller. Usually for me, that means making sure that my muscles in the back are engaged. I can feel it kind of maybe tightening up, but letting me know that they're working for me, okay? When we commence, we're at 50-50. We slowly drain the weight off of our left foot so that allow our left heel to rise. on our sole, on our toe, 100% off the ground, open, toe, arch, heel, 50-50. Hands rotate to the middle of our thighs as we take a deep breath in and elevate using our central area at shoulder level. Our hands go for the ride. We drop our shoulders, drop our elbows, drop our wrists. Flex our knees. The left hand stays in the center. Right hand rises up to the side. We open both palms to the ceiling as we glance at our back hand. We bring the back hand closer to our ear. We turn our face. We acknowledge the middle. We slide forward. We slide back. What we do on one side, we do on the other. Center, up higher, glance. Bring it closer to your ear. Turn your neck and face. Acknowledge that center, repulsing of the monkey. Continue. Center, up higher, glance, rise, open. Bring it to the ear. Acknowledge that center, slide forward, slide back. Center, glance higher, open, ear, turn, acknowledge the middle, slide. One more. Center, higher, glance, turn, meet, slide. Center, higher, open, ear, turn, meet, slide. Follow, T, parallel and higher. Don't worry, we're going to learn it. Out on an L, move that hand, brush your knee. Is it to the side or is it to the back? Sleeping. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down, parallel higher, ear, L, turn hips and waist, brush your knee. Is your knee not beyond your toe? Is your right hand to the side of you, holding that ball from the top, not sleeping? Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball. Okay. So sometimes when we dwell on movements or elements of movements, we get it, and after a while it starts to turn sour because we're like too full of it, too full of the details, so we have to move away. So we're not saying that we're going to work on the third movement just because you know 1 and 2 correctly, okay? But we know that we have some idea that what it's all about. But we're going to learn something new today. I like to call it a multitasking movement because there's several things that go on at the same time. And one thing is that we're parallel higher, we're turning our hips and waist, and we're brushing our knee. So the knee now is way down here. We don't have to brush it this way, but we do brush it in a creative, imaginary way like this. For those of you who can see already that there's something more that I'm doing, I set up my hands, I turn my hips and waist, and the hands go for the ride. I set up my hands, I have my energy stored in the back, I come out on an L. This is a multitasking, so many things are happening. The hand comes to the ear, the parallel hand comes down, and the heel comes up. But the energy is still stored on my back. The energy is something everybody has, an internal energy. And what we do in Tai Chi is try to activate it, move it, so that it's efficiently helping us, rather than getting locked in or making our movements not natural. So here's the beginning motion, okay? And then I said that energy is back there, so we're going to have to set up our hand, turn our hips and waist, and this is what happens. If I'm a beginner, and most of you are, I might say, what's the problem? I got here in the end, but how did you get there? Most of us in the beginning will say, it's easy, it's just a hand motion. Look where my my hips are, they're contorted. I didn't use my body, my central core, to make my movements happen. I'll do it again. We know we want to get out there and catch that ball, and we want to sit our hand to the side. So therefore, everybody's placing their emphasis on where to be at the end. Can you see that this is not proper alignment? If I continue to do it and call it Tai Chi, I would probably quit very fast. It's not natural. So when we warm up and do our warm-up exercise, especially this one where we're looking at the heel of the back of opposite foot, it's giving us that prepping that we need for Tai Chi. Okay, so let's try what we just heard, okay, and saw. Parallel and higher on a T, root it down because you want to have all that energy working for you. Out on an L, move that hand, move that foot, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, root down, that's your energy foot. Parallel higher on a T, glancing at it. Ear, hand, heel, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, parallel higher on a T, root down for that firmness in your energy, out on an L, move the energy, turn the hips and waist, catch that ball in the center. Don't let the back hand, the side hand go to sleep. Sit back, sit down, pivot, parallel higher on a T, firm down, that's the energy foot. Ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, T stance, parallel higher, glance, ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Last one, sit back, sit down, pivot, parallel higher on a T, ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Now ask yourself, remember that finger, the pointing finger where we showed ourselves how our body is? Can you see that your body is in that proper position and not leaning forward? Sit back, sit down, test it again. It's always easy to do it in this formation, right? But all the time we have to incorporate that finger and not let it go down. All right. I realize that this is a very, very hard movement. I remember when I learned it from my hardest teacher. It was not easy, and I was very frustrated. But I think, like you, that frustration is good because you're determined to say, I can do it and I will learn it. There's something about Tai Chi that just grows on you. Like, I can do it, but I can't really do it now, but I think I'm getting it, getting it. That is the best feeling there is, to think that you can think positive and think that, yes, I can do it someday. And if you look around the room, and we are not blind, there are students in our class who are doing it. Why aren't you doing it? Because they have been here for many, many sessions. They've practiced with me. They've heard me 1,000 times, okay? So we just have to take our journey, go slow, say we are getting better, but over time we'll get better and better, okay? It is very, very difficult. And for the 10 form, for it to come to movement number 3 kind of really throws us for a loop. But it does get better after that, okay? All right. Let's string it together now. We just did movement 3. We need to do 1, 2, and 3, okay? Good Tai Chi posture. Dropping those shoulders, everything else, and growing a little taller. Commencing form. 50-50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, off the ground, open, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Hands rotate to the middle of our thighs. Take a deep breath in as we elevate. At shoulder level, we drop our shoulders, tuck our elbows, drop our wrists, flex our knees. Left hand stays in the middle. Right hand rises up higher. Open both palms to the ceiling as we glance. Bring the back hand closer to our ear As we watch it, to meet both hands in the middle, slide forward, slide back to repulse the monkey. Center the front hand, back hand rises up higher, glancing open to the ceiling, turning, neck and face to meet both hands in the middle as we repulse the monkey. We need to get on a T stance, form your T, parallel hand, higher hand, glancing at the higher hand. We're going to brush our knee in a multitask fashion. Ear, hand, heel, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Don't let that hand go to sleep. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down that energy on a T, glance at the back or left hand, multitask. Ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Check that back hand or side hand. Sit back, sit down. This is a drill. Firm down, T, parallel higher. Multitask, ear, heel, hand on an L, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot, parallel higher on a T, firm down. Multitask on an L, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Make sure that cable is holding you up, erect. Sit back, sit down, pivot, parallel higher, firm down, glance, multitask. Ear, hand, heel, turn hips and waist, catch that ball in the center, hold the top of a ball on the left. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down, store that energy, parallel higher, L, turn hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball in a T stance. Okay, now your turn to rest and your turn to watch me, and then see if you can detect something that you can use, or an element that you can use. Actually, that's a good angle for some things and not such a good angle for, oh, sorry. So, do you see that foot of mine? Do you see this? Watch this front foot, okay? It goes out, it comes down almost the same time, although you don't see the muscles and the feeling or sensations that I have, at the end of the whole movement. To drive that point a little clearer, watch my right foot. It is wrong if I come down and I haven't finished doing my movement. It's out of sync. So what I did was wrong. Here's what's wrong. Watch this foot go down earlier than I ever finish my upper body movement, okay? Parallel higher on a T, out on an L. I want to come down. I'm already down. My energy jumped. My energy, which is stored here, my chi is stored here, it jumped all the way down before it even went up my body, through my core, through my shoulders, and went down. So to do it correctly, you would have to do this. And remember I said that although this foot looked like it went down, there are still muscles within my ball of my foot, my stem of my toes, and my final tip of my toes. So there's still that feeling. But once I see something like this, the energy already, I'm at 50-50 or 60-40, whereas I should be 50-50 at the end of my movement. Therefore, it's telling me that the energy just went from here and jumped to here. The energy has to grow, it's firm down on the back foot. It has to grow up through here, through my shoulders and through my core, and then help me with my movement. Okay? Let's try it 2 sets, and let's see if we can get that feeling that I'm trying to share with you, okay? You're on a T, parallel. Parallel normally is parallel to the waist, but this is my sense of parallel. It still has that same space, but it's up on an angle, okay? All right, so we're on a T, and the other hand is up to the side, and we're glancing at it. We know that we need energy, so what are we going to do with that back foot? We're going to keep it up straight? No, because if everybody keep it up straight, what happens? It's almost as if we have 50-50 energy, but we want to store that energy on the right. Therefore, that knee needs to be flexed to show me that there's at least 95% of the energy or weight on that back foot, okay? Here we go. Glancing at the backhand on a T. We're taking an L, and we're multitasking. Ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, firm down, parallel higher on a T, glancing. Multitask, ear, heel, hand, turn hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, firm down, parallel higher on a T. Ear, heel, hand, turn hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, parallel higher on a T. Ear, heel, hand, turn hips and waist, brush your knee. Getting better, a lot better. One really good one. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, parallel higher on a T, glance, multitask. Ear, heel, hand, turn hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, T, parallel higher, multitask. Ear, heel, hand, turn hips and waist, brush your knee. Good. Okay, so it's a struggle. It's not easy. There's nothing ever that you've done before that requires so much movement all at once and make it look good, okay? So take your time. If you find that you have trouble even holding this position, then teach yourself, is one hand parallel? Is one hand higher? So this is not higher, right? It's on the same level. Therefore, if you set, you can do it with me, if you set your left hand as my sense of parallel, it's here. Then say, I know it's here. Therefore, my other hand has to come higher and slightly to the side, okay? So you want to be able to glance at that higher hand. If you did not understand or forgot what I said and you set this hand too far back, it's twisting my Tai Chi posture off when I have to glance. Therefore, it's to the side and slightly behind so that you can just turn your face, turn your head, turn your neck to glance at it. When you then move on, you know that it's a multitasking situation. So we can practice this, okay? I'll be this way, okay? And you stay where you are. All right. So we know we're going to have to do this. Are you doing this? Are you doing this? You do it the other way, yeah. Do it the right way, and I corrected myself, okay? So it comes to the ear, it comes down. Glance, ear and down. Glance, ear and down. Glance, ear and down. Do exactly what I'm doing. Do it the same way, okay? Glance, ear and down. Glance, ear and down, okay? Now, everybody put your hands down. How much down do you bring that hand? don't bring it all the way down, because if it's all the way down, your energy will have a hard time moving that hand. It doesn't have to do a job. So maybe it's easier to watch. If this is down already, what is there to do with this hand? This hand is not being powered by your energy. So how is it being powered by your energy? It's stored in the back, so I have to come down. I multitask. This is the element that I wanted you to do. You come out, that's the third element. Third element, turn hips and waist, brush your knee. But if it's down already, you've brushed your knee and then you're turning it. So it's a little bit out of sync, okay? A little bit out of sync. All right, before we lose it, let's just do it a couple of times, okay? And see if you can get what we went over. Parallel higher, root it down. Ear, heel, hand, turn, hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down, parallel higher, ear, heel, hand, turn, hips and waist, brush your knee. One more set, sit back, sit down, pivot, parallel higher, ear, heel, hand, turn, hips and waist, brush knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, parallel higher, ear, heel, hand, turn, hips and waist, brush knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball on the T stance, okay? Everybody's doing very well, okay? And you know that you're saying, yeah, well, it's not me. Everybody's doing well, but everybody's on their own journey, okay? So you're gonna take this piece home, you're gonna look at the video, and then you're gonna make some, you can polish it up.
It starts with a movement where you step out and to the side, okay? Probably the most important thing for Tai Chi is, where are your feet? If you don't have your feet in the right position, all of the other things are maybe for naught, because you have no stability to begin with. And it's it's stability and then transfer of that stability to the other foot, but also to the rest of it. I'm here, stability is here, okay? Now, if I step here, I could be stable, but the second position of transfer of energy is a little screwed up, because I cannot transfer all my energy. As she stated, I'm 3/4. If I go any more, I either fall over, or if I'm successful, I will twist my knees up, and after a while, you will say, Tai Chi is not for me because my knees hurt. If you do it properly, the likelihood of hurting your knees with Tai Chi is less. I won't say it's zero, but it's less. And so if we're here, stability on one leg, any leg you want, okay? And then you step out. It has to come out to the side, but to the back, because what are you going to try to do with your upper part of your body? Remember, she spoke about that. You want to be able to turn so that the shoulders are now straight in that direction, straight this way, so I form a right angle. Because when I come back and I want to twist, and I form here, mobility here, stability here, turn, step out, I want to be able to go again so that my shoulders are straight. So remember to not just out and to the side, it's out and to the side and back from where you originally are. So maybe a little, sometimes when we use words, we don't describe it to the fullest, but if somebody gave you total instruction, there'd be too many words, okay? So out and to the side means out to the side and back, so you can turn, okay? Another thing Lucille talked about was hand movements, okay? And parallel and higher, parallel and higher. So you're here, and this hand is here, parallel and higher. Now, she then said, you bring your hands down. And bring your knee down. If you try to do that, what happens is that by doing this comes down, this comes up. You maintain the stability. You stay on this leg here. And you're ready. The power has been transferred in part up here, but the balance has been maintained. And you're balanced, so from there, you step out. Hopefully at your leisure. When you first start, you don't have the strength to be able to say, okay, at my leisure. And I still haven't transferred the energy yet. My feet is not down. But once I start going, feet, hands, boom, rotation. That's what you want to do. Get bang, 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 and up here it's going, and it's turning, okay? But to do that is maintain your balance, and then go. And one more thing. Commencing form. You figure, well, what the heck, man, we're just getting out here to do this. It is a time to practice and to build your body. You're here, you get up here, what happens? You're here, totally on this leg, and supposedly at your leisure, you drop this down. Then you shift your weight. Problem is, most of our leisure when we first start is not very leisure at all because we don't have the power to stand on this one leg and be all day like this. So boom. So as you progress, it's as long as you can get your foot out and put it down where you want to and when you want to. That's the key. And the other portion is, once you got it here, you don't lift your arms up like this, you push them up from underneath. And then when you drop your hands, you don't go like this, right? Here, drop your shoulders, drop your elbows, and bring your hands down gently. It's a transfer of energy from here, boom, 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 and it finally gets down to here. The function is you're coming from here, and you're going to push your opponent down to direct his energy. He's coming at you straight on. You just push him gently, and he dives for the ground, okay? But you can't just flop him this way. Elbows and shoulders go down, so that's part of the deal. You don't have to be so emphatic, but push up from the shoulders, come back down, shoulders and elbows. Okay?
So don't worry, we gave you a lot of information and you will hear it over and over in different ways, okay? So don't get overwhelmed. We are only here to help you and keep you safe. So basically, remember we spent a lot of time on feet alignment and we always were very sure that we need to come out into the side. We need to say, show me with your hands out into the side, show me how. And then I said in one motion and we said here, and then we said here, because we need a gap to make an L stance. We do not want to come here and make the perfect L in our world. We want to do a perfect L in a Tai Chi world where there is a gap to allow that pivoting to occur without hurting ourselves. Once we add hands to that feet alignment, we're multitasking again. Our mind is not trained to do maybe 2 things or 3 things at once. Therefore, we concentrate more on our hands and forget about our feet. So what is it doing to us? It's telling us that we need to use our mind a little stronger and make our body do what our mind understands. So that, in a way, is very good because you're not just doing something by copying. You're actually taxing your mind, challenging your brains to keep them alive and stimulated. So therefore, Tai Chi is good. Helps you physically, mentally, socially, emotionally. Gives you that lift, gives you the confidence, okay? Do you agree? Yeah? maybe, and I think you can see it already, but as you get further into Tai Chi, you will feel that very, very apparent. All right, we're going to end class now. This time we're going to do it all the way through, okay? That's our challenge for today. All right, good Tai Chi posture, dropping those shoulders. 50-50, commencing form. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, open. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, rotate. Deep breath in, elevate. Make yourself small, drop your shoulders, flex your knees. Center the front hand, right hand up higher, open. Bring it to the ear, turn your face, repulsing of the monkey. Center, higher, glance, open, multitask, ear, turn, meet in the middle, slide forward, slide back. T-stance, parallel and higher, the real multitask. Ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down, parallel higher, ear, heel, hand, turn hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball. This one you're gonna like. Out and to the side, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down, ball and tee, out and to the side, part the wild horse's mane. This one you'll enjoy later on. Flip and meet, sit back, sit down, pivot, 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, flip, meet, close your hand, close your feet, cloud hands. Flip, meet, open, cup, 9 o'clock, only flip, meet, middle or cup, flip, meet, close your feet, middle, flip, meet, open, middle, 3 o'clock, only flip, meet, shift your weight. What are you gonna be? Golden cockerel. Down, other side, golden cockerel. Down, right hand, right foot up. Kick out in line. Down, left hand, left foot, up, kick out. Holding our ball, we're going the other way, right foot, right hand, out and to the side, push our opponent away, ward him off. Turn your hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail. As you sit down, sit back, look back, turn, contact, push, separate and roll back. And roll forward. Sit back, sit down, pivot, left hand on the bottom, left foot ready to go, holding your ball. Out in an L, push your opponent away. Turn your hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail. Pull down, pull back, look back. Turn, square contact, push, separate and roll back. And spiral forward. Sit back, twist, open, in, embrace the tiger, up, rotate, push out. What are we gonna do? Make ourselves small because we are now closing our form. Okay, and up higher, open, bring it to the ear, turn your face, repulsing of the monkey. Center, higher, glance, open, multitask, ear, turn, meet in the middle, slide forward, slide back. T-stance, parallel and higher, the real multitask. Ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down, parallel higher, ear, heel, hand, turn hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball. This one you're gonna like. Out and to the side, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, firm down, ball and T, out and to the side, part the wild horse's mane. This one you'll enjoy later on. Flip and meet, sit back, sit down, pivot, 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, flip, meet, close your hand, close your feet, cloud hands. Flip, meet, open, cup, 9 o'clock, only flip, meet, middle or cup, flip, meet, close your feet, middle, flip, meet, open, middle, 3 o'clock, only flip, meet, shift your weight. What are you gonna be? Golden cockerel. Down, other side, golden cockerel. Down, right hand, right foot up. Kick out in line. Down, left hand, left foot, up, kick out. Holding our ball, we're going the other way, right foot, right hand, out and to the side, push our opponent away, ward him off. Turn your hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail. As you sit down, sit back, look back, turn, contact, push, separate and roll back. And roll forward. Sit back, sit down, pivot, left hand on the bottom, left foot ready to go, holding your ball. Out in an L, push your opponent away. Turn your hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail. Pull down, pull back, look back. Turn, square contact, push, separate and roll back. And spiral forward. Sit back, twist, open, in, embrace the tiger, up, rotate, push out. What are we gonna do? Make ourselves small because we are now closing our form. Okay? Good job.